Hello everyone. We begin our study of mathematics by Laplace transformation, a very important topic in mathematics. This is unit 2 of your mathematics paper 2. In recent years, the knowledge of Laplace transform has become an essential part of mathematical background required for engineers, mathematicians and scientists because the transform methods provides an easy and effective means for the solution of many problems arising in engineering and technology. There is a long list of applications of Laplace transform theory in applied mathematics. To solve linear differential equations, linear ordinary differential equations with constant coefficients, Laplace transformation is useful in solving ordinary linear differential equation with variable coefficients, partial differential equation with constant coefficients, integral equations of the special type which we call as convolution type equations. To evaluate definite integrals, to derive the Fourier series, and so many advantages are there. Now one of the great advantage of this Laplace transform technique to solve the differential equation is that whenever we solve the differential equation by our usual method, we have to find complementary function and then particular integral, and then we write the complete solution as complementary function plus particular integral. But in Laplace transform technique, no need to find complementary function and particular integral separately. It gives us the complete solution directly. Also, in solving the differential equations with variable coefficients, no need to reduce those differential equations to the equation with constant coefficients. Laplace was a great French mathematician and professor in Paris. He developed the foundation of potential theory and made important contribution to celestial mechanics, astronomy, special functions and probability theory. Napoleon Bonaparte, you might have heard this name. He was the student of Laplace for a year. Now, which are the topics that we want to study in this unit? So the first is definition of Laplace transform, then existence of Laplace transform, Laplace transform of some elementary functions, properties of Laplace transforms, Laplace transforms of f dash t means derivative of f of t, Laplace transform of the integration of f of t, Laplace transform of f of t multiplied by t raised to the power n, Laplace transform of f of t divided by t, then Laplace transform of periodic functions, and lastly we will study inverse Laplace transforms. So now we will see the definition of Laplace transform. Let f of t be a function of t which is defined for all t greater than 0. The Laplace transform of f of t, which is denoted by L of f of t, this L that is used for Laplace transform, and this is defined as the integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus st f of t dt, provided that the integral exists. here this L. So this integration, if it exists, then it is called the Laplace transform of this f of t. Okay. So you have to multiply this f of t by e raised to the power minus st. Remember this. Multiply f of t by e raised to the power minus st and integrate it over 0 to infinity. If this integral exists, it is called the Laplace transform of f of t, and it is denoted by L of f of t, L for Laplace transform. So here L is called Laplace transformation operator, and whenever we integrate this t variable will get integrated away, and the resultant function, that will be a function of s. That s is a parameter which is real or complex. Now Laplace transform of f of t, which we denote by L of f of t, that is also denoted by f of s, because this is a function of s. After integration, you will get this as a function of s. That's why it is also denoted by a function of s. So to avoid the confusion, here capital F is used, because small f function of t, that is our original function on which this L is operated, and we get the result as a function of s, that is f of s. So what is f of s? This f of s, that is the Laplace transform of f of t, means the integration 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus st f of t dt. Now when the Laplace transform of any function exists, if f of t is piecewise continuous in every finite interval 0 to a, when t lies between 0 to a, this 0 to a, that is the finite interval. So in every such finite interval, the function is piecewise continuous and it is of exponential order alpha for t greater than a. So if f of t is piecewise continuous in every finite interval 0 to a and of exponential order alpha for t greater than a, then its Laplace transform exists for all s greater than alpha. Now we will see the meaning of piecewise continuity and function of exponential order. Piecewise continuity, which is also called as sectional continuity. So when the function is said to be sectionally or piecewise continuous, a function f of t is said to be sectionally or piecewise continuous in an interval a to b if that f of t is continuous in each of the finite number of subintervals of that interval ab. So AB, that is the given interval. If that given interval AB is divided into finite number of subintervals, then if in each subinterval that function is continuous, then it is called and also except possibly at a finite number of points where f of t has different limits from the left and right. Now when f of t has different limits from the left and right, means left hand limit and right hand limits are different at some points, means at those points the function is not continuous, means there are some finite number of discontinuities. Okay, so the function f of t may be discontinuous in this interval AB at certain finite number of points, but when that interval AB is divided into finite number of subintervals. In each subinterval, the function is continuous. So, except at the end points of those subintervals, the function is continuous. Such a function is called piecewise or sectionally continuous function. This is one example given here of piecewise continuous function. Consider a function f of t which is discontinuous at t1, t2, t3. So t1, t2, t3 are the points in this range a to b. Here this is the point A and this point is B. Okay, in this range A to B there are these points t1, t2 and t3. And it is given that the function is discontinuous at t1, at t2 and at t3. Okay, so we divide this interval a to b from these points t1, t2 and t3. So we have the subintervals a t1. This is one subinterval. Then next subinterval is t1 to t2, and then third subinterval it is t2 to t3, and then t3 to b. So there are 4 subintervals. Now if you look at the graph, this is the graph of the function. So between a and t1 the graph is continuous because the function is discontinuous at this point only, t1, not here. So as it is continuous here, the graph is continuous. Similarly, at t1 and t2 it is discontinuous, but it is continuous between every point between t1 to t2. Okay, and therefore the graph is continuous. Similarly, between t2 and t3 there is a continuous graph. Between t3 and b there is a continuous graph. Such a function is called piecewise continuous, and the integration of such a function is finite. That is, this integral a to b f of t dt is finite, and hence we say that the integration exists. The next definition is of function of exponential order. So when we say the function f of t is of exponential order alpha, alpha is a constant. If there exists a constant capital M greater than 0 such that e raised to the power minus alpha t into mod f of t less or equal to m, or mod f of t, take this e to the power minus alpha t to this side, so that becomes mod f of t is less or equal to this capital M, and taking e to the power minus alpha t to the right hand side, it becomes capital M into e to the power alpha t. Okay, so whenever this inequality holds for such a constant capital M, if such a constant exists for which this inequality holds, we say that the function is of exponential order.